Welcome to Actors Are Born, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of the lives and careers of movie stars. Today, we're putting the spotlight on a British icon, a man who defined the romantic comedy of the 90s and who, over time, has managed to reinvent himself in surprising ways. We're talking about the one and only Hugh Grant. Born in London on September 9, 1960, Hugh John Mungo Grant is much more than the charming and slightly awkward character we've come to love. With his eternal English boy charm, self-deprecating humor, and a smile that could melt even the most cynical of hearts, Grant has built an extraordinary career, not without its twists and turns, scandals, and deep reflections on the craft of acting. Hugh Grant's career didn't take off immediately. After graduating with a degree in English literature from Oxford, where he took his first steps into acting with the university's Drama Society, his talent was noticed by critics in 1987. In the James Ivory film Maurice, Grant delivered a performance so intense and delicate that he won the Volpi Cup for Best Actor at the Venice Film Festival. But the real breakthrough, the one that established him as an international star, came in 1994 with Four Weddings and a Funeral. Written by Richard Curtis and directed by Mike Newell, this film not only became a generational cult classic, but also defined the persona that would make him famous worldwide. For this role, he won a Golden Globe and a BAFTA for Best Actor. Interestingly, Grant has revealed that he almost turned down the part, finding his character, Charles, too similar to himself, a decision that, in hindsight, would have changed the course of his life. From that moment on, he became the undisputed king of the romantic comedy. Think of Notting Hill in 1999, where he plays a shy bookseller who falls in love with a movie star played by Julia Roberts. Or Bridget Jones's Diary in 2001, in which he shed the good guy image to play the cynical and seductive Daniel Cleaver, a role that allowed him to show a darker, more irreverent side. And who could forget Love Actually in 2003, where he played a love-struck British Prime Minister, giving us one of the most iconic and embarrassing dance scenes in cinema history. But behind the public image of a successful actor, there is a complex and at times controversial man. In 1995, at the height of his fame, he was arrested in Los Angeles for lewd conduct in a public place with a prostitute. The scandal made headlines around the world, but his handling of the crisis was masterful. Instead of hiding, he appeared on an American talk show and admitted his wrongdoing with disarming honesty, winning the public's forgiveness. Years later, he attributed the act to a professional disappointment related to one of his films. Another interesting fact concerns his relationship with acting. Despite his success, Grant has often stated that he doesn't particularly enjoy his profession, calling himself an accidental actor and seeing it more as a well-paid job than a calling. This critical distance is also reflected in his relationship with Hollywood and the star system, which he has always viewed with a certain skepticism. Perhaps not everyone knows that Hugh Grant is also an activist. He's taken on a courageous battle against the British tabloids for illegal phone hacking, becoming one of the most prominent faces of the Hacked Off campaign. And his private life? Long considered a golden bachelor, he had a 13-year relationship with actress Elizabeth Hurley. He became a father for the first time at 51 and now has 5 children from 2 different women, proving that life can always hold new, wonderful surprises. In recent years, we have witnessed a true artistic renaissance for Hugh Grant. Tired of the romantic hero label, he has begun to explore more complex and varied roles, demonstrating a surprising versatility. We admired him in Florence Foster Jenkins alongside Meryl Streep, and he delighted us as the vain and villainous Phoenix Buchanan in Paddington 2, a performance that was unanimously acclaimed by critics. He also shone on the small screen in miniseries such as A Very English Scandal, where he portrays the British politician Jeremy Thorpe in a scandal that shook the United Kingdom, and The Undoing alongside Nicole Kidman, receiving nominations for both performances. Recently, we've seen him in even more unexpected roles, such as in Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman or as an Oompa Loompa in Wonka. These choices demonstrate his desire to challenge himself and have fun deconstructing his iconic image. His transformation culminates with the A24 psychological thriller Heretic, written and directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods, the screenwriters of A Quiet Place. In this film, Grant plays Mr. Reed, a sinister man who traps 2 young female missionaries in his home, forcing them into a macabre game that tests their faith. Completely abandoning the affable mannerisms of his most famous characters, Grant steps into the shoes of a manipulative and diabolical villain, a role the actor himself has described as bold and unconventional for the horror genre. His performance has been praised by critics, who have called it suave, elegant, and evil, noting how his usual charming demeanor makes the character even more unsettling. This role marks a turning point, showcasing an unprecedented and frightening Grant, capable of dominating the screen with chilling monologues and constant psychological tension. Hugh Grant is living proof that actors are born, but also that they can reinvent themselves. From the romantic comedies that made generations dream, to his roles as villains, psychopaths, and even an Oompa Loompa, he has shown an intelligence and self-awareness that make him unique. A man who, behind his British charm and sly demeanor, hides a sharp mind and a talent that continues to surprise us. As he himself said, commenting on his recent string of eccentric characters, "I'm in the freak show phase of my career, and we couldn't be happier about it." Actors Are Born thanks you and looks forward to seeing you for our next portrait.